I challenge the broadcast industry to do what movies have done, to identify your program in ways that help parents to protect their children.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Broadcasting to you live from Love Canal.
Oh, it's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here.
Western New York and all across the world. This.
Once in a lifetime, there comes a show whose sheer power eclipses all that has come before it. That show is
the Jonathan Fischer Show. And here's your host, Jonathan Fischer.
Here's Johnny.
Never gets old. I love that show. I love the intro to my show. It is amazing. I'll never get over it. And it was even better. It's even better now than it was on the radio show. But hey, welcome to episode 2 of the John Fischer Show. Thank you for joining with me tonight. We've got a lot to talk about, but such short time to do it in. I just want to remind everybody, if anybody watched Sunday's stream, I'm still under this computer issue warning that I'm going through. So if you see a bunch of lagging or things that don't look right on your end, it's me. I just found out Friday that the hard drive in my Mac Mini is going, and my RAM obviously needs to be upgraded. And that's what I planned on doing, was upgrading my RAM, because I want my computer run 10 times faster. But what's really cool is if you ever have any Apple product, and even if you're out of warranty, take it to the Apple store. Make an appointment with them. And I'm not trying to give them any props or free advertising here, but I was kind of blown away with, hey, I know you're out of warranty, but we're still going to try to take care of you and find out what's going wrong with your computer, and we could try to help you out. And they plugged it in, and sure enough, my 7-year-old computer, what did I buy it in 2013? No, it's not 7, it's 5, almost 6-year-old computer, is pretty much crapping the bed with the hard drive. And I've actually been noticing it ever since I took it or brought it back from testing, that it's just delaying a little more. So it's lagging in things that didn't lag before, and now I know that the hard drive is going. So I ordered an external hard drive, 2 terabyte. I'm ready to back this thing up. I'm ready to get it fixed. So real quickly, if you haven't already, and I know I promised I wasn't going to say this in future episodes, but I'm only saying this because this is where you'll see any updates of what's going on. Go on our Niagara, go on the Facebook page, Niagara Podcast channel, like us on there. This will show you up-to-date information. See, I posted something yesterday saying we are still going as scheduled, and I also posted something earlier in the week, say, hey, everybody, we're having issues. This is the best place to get informed. So if anything gets canceled, postponed, delayed, it's going to be right here on our podcast channel at facebook.com. So definitely give it a try, or not give it a try, give it a like. You'll get notified anytime. See, like right now I'm looking at it, and I'm really lagging for no particular reason. See, look at it. It's terrible. But we're going to fight through it. Hopefully my voice isn't lagging, but video is lagging. Also, during our live stream, if you want to chat, create a stir, what have you, over here on the side, there's a chat box. Go ahead. If you want questions answered, if you think I can take a joke, whatever, go ahead and start typing away, and I'll try my best to keep up with the comments as they come in, as well as questions. I actually had a couple of questions come to me over the last week, so we'll get into that as well. Kind of fun. Don't come to Buffalo. That's the big thing. Don't come to Buffalo. Weather's going to get real crappy over the next week and a half. We haven't seen winter yet at all, and here it is halfway through January. And you tell me there's no global warming? Here it comes. So finally, midway through January, we're finally going to get that Arctic cold. The Great Lake snow machine's going to kick in because the lakes are still super warm. And then all that gusting wind pushing right into us. Yeah, I'm so ready for it. I'm a summer guy, so as you can tell, I'm already ready for this. Yeah. I've got a motorcycle. I want to get out on the road. I want to start driving. Can't ride the motorcycle in wintertime. Just not going to happen. That being said, I'm going to answer a couple of questions. Did you do the baby poll on Niagara Radio, on the Niagara Podcast channel? We have that completed. That completed yesterday. I'll go over the results in just a minute. And our new fun and exciting game I'm going to play every week Trump versus the Kardashians. This is going to be great. I basically go on Yahoo and I try to see how many news articles of Trump are out there and how many news articles of the Kardashians are out there. It's going to be great. Can't wait to try it. And then I'm going to vent a couple of things. I actually have a big list. I don't plan on getting through all of it because it's a lot. I'm actually going to keep it to a half-hour show, and we're already 10 minutes in, so almost 10 minutes in. So I'm going to keep it short. That being said, did you try the baby poll? I am so happy for this. I'm actually going to put this right back on here and just show everybody. We're going to do a new poll every week right at the end of the John Fisher Show. I'll tell you at the end of the show what the new poll will be. But last week's poll was on my new baby me and my wife are having come this April, and we knew we were told the due date was April 18th. So my poll, as you can see right down here as I get to it, boom, right there. Basically, I asked, do you believe the baby will come before or after April 18th, the due date? 78% of you said it will come before, and 22% said it will come after. Well, I have some interesting news. Those who voted the arriving before April 18th, you've got it correct. No, we did not have the baby yet. My wife told me 2 days after I posted this that she found out she's having a scheduled C-section. So another poll will come out with that date, and maybe is the baby going to arrive before that date? But we'll find out. We'll see if that poll will even exist. Just depends on what the date will be, but it won't be April 18th or beyond. So those who voted for beyond, you're wrong. But those who voted before, correct. You got it right. New poll at the end of every wow, can't talk tonight. As you can tell, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be here, right here on the air with you guys. This is great. Yeah, at the end of every episode, I'm going to slow it down for you guys. At the end of every episode, we're going to do a poll, and I will have it posted on the Facebook page, and we'll talk about it before I go off the air, and then you can vote for it on the Niagara Podcast channel at facebook.com. There, we did it a lot more quieter that time. All right. That being said, let's do questions. So, I actually had 3 questions come my way. I was actually shocked. I do see the username. Sometimes I don't. But one of the questions I got, and somebody caught wind of this. I don't know how last year. I don't know, but username was M80 Quaker. Interesting name. Thank you. M80 Quaker asked, I like to use rideshare a lot, and I noticed on one of your episodes last year, which I didn't do any episodes last year, so it must have been the year before, and I don't even remember doing that. You had mentioned your interest in Uber and Lyft. I drive for both, and I also ride for both. I was wondering what your interests are. What do you prefer over the other? That's a good question. I actually still am registered for both Uber and Lyft. I don't do any of the other companies. I haven't driven actually over a year for either company. Actually, my last time I drove for Uber or Lyft was in January last year. Wow, I'm cold. I'm shaking. Oh, sorry. There's pros and cons to both of them. I like Lyft because they really like to pay their drivers more. I like the fact I guess I like the overall experience with Lyft. Uber by far for me, it tops Lyft. Again, I'm not throwing any bad mouthing to either company. They both operate the same. They both interact the same. Their maps are a tad different. How you do the bonuses for each and driving bonuses are different for each. Totally understandable. But I actually got more requests for Uber than I did Lyft, and it just varies from city to city of which one's better. Me personally, I like Uber. Lyft just had cool gizmos. It was really easier. It's actually a lot easier to set up. I think Uber is getting there. But like I said, I haven't I have the app on my phone. I can go out right now if I want and drive for them, make some money. But that's the really cool thing. If you're a driver and you want to make some quick cash and understand that you're going to put wear and tear on your car, and you have an older car, like a beater car, but it's newer and it fits all the parameters that Uber and Lyft have, it's a great way to make some extra cash. You kind of have to be a people person. You kind of have to, I don't know. The reason why I stopped is more of a financial reason and wear and tear on the car, as opposed to feeling uneasy driving. Because once you start getting into the rhythm of driving people and understanding the safe spots where you feel comfortable picking people up and the hot spots of making the most money, you just feel more comfortable driving. And me personally, I was just feeling like the wear and tear was costing more on my car. I have an extended warranty that is 3 years, 36,000 miles on my car. And at that time, I'm like, I'm going to run through both of this really quickly before I even get the chance to fulfill the 3 years. So within a year, I might go through it. I mean, I'm not going to drive 36,000 miles, but it's going to end a lot quicker than the 3 years it's going for. And that's what I want to do. But I don't know. I mean, I've never ridden for either of them. I've never had to call them. But Lyft, what I like about Lyft is it actually shows you where the cars are in your area and how long it's going to take for that, or like a close car to get to you. Uber doesn't have that. Again, I haven't checked Uber's app, and I know that they update them quite frequently, so I have no idea. But if that answers your question, there you go. Another car question. Duel for Life 316 asks, what were your top 10 cars of 2018? What did you like over the other? I'm not going to give you my list of top 10 cars. I couldn't tell you. And this is another question that stemmed from someone. I kind of recognize the name. But, again, people who know me very well in my close circle know that I'm really into cars. I like to research how cars work and fix them and learn how to fix them. It's kind of like a new hobby trait that I'm developing. Just kind of self-teaching myself, if that makes sense. I'll give you my top 3 right now. I really like the Toyota Camry, or the Toyota Corolla, for the 2018 model. I think they look really, really gnarly, really nasty looking. They drive really good, and they're very well. We're very well built, and if you maintain them regularly, they can last a long time. I watch a bunch of other YouTube channels that are strictly on repairing cars and their reviews on cars, and Toyota is always high up on the chain. I have a Ford Taurus. It's a 2011. They actually are going to stop making the Ford Tauruses. GM and Ford are actually going to start the stopping procedure. I'm going to word this wrong. They're going to start stopping car making. They want to strictly go to SUVs and trucks. Both Ford and Chevy are only going to make the sport cars, which is like your Camaro and your Mustang. But like the Taurus, the Fiesta, the Fusion, they're all going away. The Malibu, I think, is staying, but a couple other their cars on the Chevy front, they're going. Me personally, I'd never buy a Chevy. The only Chevy I would even think about buying is the Silverado, because it's been around for a while, and like the Ford F-150, they like to build off of it. So if there's something wrong with it, they'll fix it. They'll make it better in the next model, or they like to improve. That's the word I'm looking for. They like to improve on these models. Ford F-150 by far better truck over the Silverado, in my opinion. I see a lot of people drive the Silverados out there, but I also see a lot of people drive the Ford F-150s. I like American-built cars. Now, Toyota is semi-American built, semi-not. Ford, mostly American-built. Chevy, not so much, and that's kind of where I'm kind of torn. It is an American-built car, but there's a lot of quality control issues with Chevy, and that's where I kind of get torn away from Chevy. I almost bought a Malibu before I bought this Taurus, and there was just something about the Malibu I just didn't like. I ended up going with the Taurus. I've always had a big... can't even find the word. And we'll save this for another show. I don't want to keep dragging this out because, like I said, I was only going to do this for maybe a half hour. Ford, to me, was always one of those brands that I had a Ford Windstar, and everyone told me never to buy the Windstar. It's a garbage car. And I learned real quick, and I've always been turned off with Fords. I've been a Jeep fan since that point. I've loved Jeeps. But then I started noticing really small issues that became big problems with Jeeps. And yes, they're great in the snow. They're great in the weather up here up north. But over time, they break down so quickly and so easily that it's just so expensive to maintain that I wanted a car that I don't have to dump a ton of money into to maintain if ever went wrong. So me personally, I like the Fords. So my top 10 or my top cars, I would give you Toyota. I'm not going to give you a specific car, but like Corolla, Camry would be my number ones. I would put Ford right in there. Now, if you're talking specifically cars, I would stay with the Taurus. Taurus by far is a very beastly car. It's a little bit of a gas hog, but not much on the highway. It by far shines over the rest because of its performance. After that, it would be the Fusion, but I hate the Fusion. I test drove a Fusion. It's like a mini Taurus that's blah. It just I hated it. As soon as I got in the Taurus, I knew I loved this car. This was perfect. I don't mean to keep gloating about the Taurus. After that, if you want to put a truck in there, Ford F-150 is my favorite. And I'm actually going to make an episode out of this. I cannot wait. I'm like, and to kind of go R-rated, I have a huge hard-on for the Ford Ranger that's come out. The brand new Ford Ranger. I can't wait to see it. The local dealership that I have that's actually right across the street from where I am, they've ordered a couple Ford Rangers for their stock and their inventory. Once they come in, I've been checking every so often. Once they come in, I want to take a look at it. I'm so interested in the Ford Ranger. It's top of the line, best in class in quite a few areas that's actually beating Toyota. So I want to see it. What really concerns me about the Ford Ranger, and again, we'll go into detail in another episode, but it has an aluminum engine, solid aluminum engine, which most of these vehicles do nowadays. But it's a 4-cylinder twin turbocharged. I believe I remember reading that right. And it's got a lot of power, but for a 4-cylinder and a truck that size, it's equivalent to the Toyota Tacoma and the Chevy Colorado, because it's a smaller mid-sized truck. It's not the full beast F-150 Silverado kind of truck. It's a smaller truck. And I have my eyes all over it because it just looks amazing. It reminds me of the Taurus, but in a truck manner. So that's a 2019 model. So sorry, it's not a 2018 model. And if I had to pick one other one, I would probably pick the Chevy Silverado. But that's my bottom of the list of maybe my top 3. So I would definitely go with the Toyota, the Chevy, or the Fords, and then the Chevys. Possibly. I mean, maybe it's a tie with another one, but that's what I would think would be my top. Now, an unknown asked me, I saw an article on Facebook about I saw an article in your area near Rochester about Rochester allowing the first girls subdivision Boy Scout subdivision. Okay, that doesn't make sense. I know what the article is you're talking about. There's a chapter of the Boy Scouts in the Rochester area that is set to have the first girls Boy Scout division, where it's just a mixture. If anything, call it the Scouts. And this is a big vent for me because for decades, the Boy Scouts has always been the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts has always been the Girl Scouts. Why do you need to have girls in the Boy Scouts? There's no difference in learning. Just because you want to combine the two, I get it. Then call it the Scouts. Don't keep confusing people saying, oh, we're going to put girls in the Boy Scouts. No, call it the Scouts. If you want a co-ed Scout division, call it the Scouts, and you have boys and girls activities. You learn both, or there's nothing different from either one. One sells Girl Scout cookies, the other one sells whatever. I think it's absolutely foolish. If you're going to subdivide between the genders, you do Boy Scouts and you do Girl Scouts. You don't allow the boys to go in the Girl Scouts. You don't see anybody saying, oh, I'm going to have my boys join the Girl Scouts. No. But you see people say, I want my girls to join the Boy Scouts, and there's no difference. There's very little difference between the Scouts. And if you want to make it co-ed, call it the Scouts. Do not say it's the girls' we're putting girls in the Boy Scouts. Just call it the Scouts. And then you decide what you want to learn in the Scouts. No ifs, ands, or buts. Leave it at that. That's what we're going to make our poll on. Do you think I'll word it, but it's going to be about the Scouts. Do you think there should be girls allowed in the Boy Scouts? Yes or no? Or should it be divided? We'll figure that out. But that's what our poll will be this evening. That'll be interesting. All right, let's go. That's our 3 questions. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to leave me a message on our Facebook page at Now Your Podcast channel, or during our live feeds, or any of our feeds. If you're watching it pre-recorded, you can go into the comment section and you can leave a comment, question, whatever. I do read them, and then I can put them right here on my script to read them. So, give it a try. All right, let's do our Trump versus Kardashian. Now, once again, because I'm having computer issues, I don't want to add anything new to my OBS software to make this any different. Have I had that on there the whole time? Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. But yeah. Let's go to the Yahoo page. So, how this game works, it's not really a game, but it's Trump versus Kardashian. So basically, all the articles we have on here, and I know I shifted gears here real quick. Because my computer has issues, I'm not going to do anything new. I want to add music to this scene, but if I add music and then I do the backup and something goes haywire and I have to reset and redo all this, I don't want to go through that hassle. So, or it just acts missing. So what we do is we go to yahoo.com and basically we look at their newsfeed. And anytime you see Trump, he gets a tally. Anytime you see Kardashian, they get a tally. Now, the reason why I do this is no matter what news source you go to, MSN, AOL, Yahoo, maybe even a Google Newsline, there's always something, multiple sources about Trump and multiple sources about the Kardashians. And I figured, hell, why not give it a try? Let's see who owns what. But it has to be about Trump and it has to be about the Kardashians. And the Kardashians get a little added bonus because of the Jenners too. So if you see anything about Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner, even the other, Jenner, I don't know her name. I forget her name. But whatever. That goes on there too. So let's see here. We're reading. Teen dies. Okay. Nothing over here. Interesting. Oh, Pence. Close. Nothing there. Bob Costas confirms buyout agreement on NBC. Really? Wow. I wonder where he's going to go now. Unless he's retiring. That's very interesting. Nothing over there. Oh, there's a Trump. Trump today. President signs bill to pay federal workers. Mom on State of the Union. Oh, okay. There's one. Ding. And that's something I'll add too. I'll add like little tickers here at the bottom. Trump, Kardashian. That'll be fun. Nothing on the side. Megan. Nope. Close. Really? This is very odd. Oh, there it is. Trump. 5 reasons Trump may want shutdown that have nothing to do with the wall. Ding. Trump's 2-0. Usually I see a ton more Kardashian stuff on here, but not today. Wow, more sports stuff. Oh, another Trump. Trump's attorney general Pick raises alarms with comments on probing Clinton Foundation and uranium conspiracy. That's a Trump. Ding. Uh-oh. Ford recalls 953,000 vehicles, part of largest series of recalls in U.S. history. Oh, crap. I'm going to have to read that one. Not right now, but I'll probably read it later. There's that snowstorm I told about. It's coming. It's coming this weekend. Luckily, we won't be working. Sad thing, we won't be working. The Supra? They're bringing back the Supra? Oh my God! 2019 Toyota Supra versus the 1993 Toyota. How they compare in paper? Oh! I gotta look that up too. That'll be interesting. Oh, here's another one. Here's how much Donald Trump's fast food spread for the Clemson Tigers may have cost. 3. We're up to 4. Ding. Oh, they're gonna get shut out here. Oh boy. Wow. I swear to God, when I check this at work, there is a ton of Kardashian stuff. There is no Kardashian stuff in here today. Wow. For once, it's silent. Oh, another one. Trump. Ding. 5. This is fun. Kate Moss is 45. Wow. Okay. Password sharing cost Netflix billions. Well, maybe you should fix that. Just saying. That way, you know, your mother, your sisters, your aunts and uncles don't all have access to your Netflix. You think that would be a smart idea? You know, I'm guilty of it, but I mean, we're all guilty of it. Hey, you got Netflix? Can I just want to try Netflix out. Can you set it up on my TV, my phone, blah, blah, blah? Jeez. Oh, man. I mean, good, but I'm just shocked the Kardashians don't have one. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. I'm not answering to that one. Nope. Oh, boo-hoo. Don't care about that. Wow, this is unbelievable. Oh, Trump orders thousands back to work without pay to blunt shutdown disruption. Ding. Is Trump really going to blank them? 6-0 right now. Oh, jeez. There is. Oh, there's another one. Ding. 7. I think we're getting close to the end here. I think the Kardashians are SOL. They just have nothing going on. Huh. Oh. Ding. Maybe we'll get it to 10. If they can get to if Trump can get to 10, that's it. It's over. It's a complete sweep. I'm actually amazed that the Kardashians did not show up. They're like, we don't want to be matched with Trump. Boo boo. Boo 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 boo. Oh, I thought that was going to be a Kardashian thing. Oh, there's a picture, but no Trump. And then, yeah, that doesn't count. It's got to be in the headline. Ryan Truex to drive for Tommy Baldwin Racing at Daytona. Interesting. All right, I'm going to call it. Oh, there's another one. Reveals Donald Trump degrading secret Kremlin code name. Can he get one more? There it is. Killer Savage Donald Trump's America in a new protest song, Land of the Free. 10-0. No Kardashians. I swear to God. Oh, they're going to keep going. Burger King trolls Trump on including hamburgers in massive food order. Okay. Interesting. No Kardashian. All right. Sorry. Big whopping 0 there. I'll fade back out. That was a lot less entertaining with no Kardashians. Oh, well. Oh, how's everybody doing tonight? Doing good? Good. All right. We're going to do a couple events. Nothing too big, nothing too major, and I'm not going to get into it. I was going to vent about the government shutdown. It sucks. I totally understand every federal worker out there who's going through this. I have a brother-in-law who works Border Patrol, and I know what they're going through. It's really a pain in the butt. Pain in the ass is more appropriate. I really think there should be a way, and like I said, I'm not going to explain this. I'm a political guy. I will talk politics till I'm blue in the face. But I'm out of my place with the government shutdown because I have not followed anything that's going on. To tell you the truth, I didn't even know there was a government shutdown looming until someone said, hey, there's a government shutdown coming. You know, Trump's going to force their hand because he wants this damn wall. You know, this is one thing that pisses me off about Donald Trump is he promised us all that, hey, I'm going to go after the Mexicans and they're going to pay for the wall. And they're not. And now all of a sudden we're paying for the wall. And did everybody forget that he said that? Because I didn't forget. And now all of a sudden we have to pay for the wall, and now we have a government shutdown because he wants us to pay for the wall. I don't know how I feel about that. So, more importantly, just to not talk about that right now, we can talk about that in another episode. There should be a way where you get into this situation where the government can't effectively run, where you should still pay your workers who have to work. There should be like an escrow that builds so that if this ever happens, these people who have bills to pay, mortgages to pay on, a roof over their head, to feed their families, there should be a way without having to wait for back pay if they even get that. So that to me, and I saw a very, very, very good Facebook post from one of, I believe it was actually my sister-in-law, had posted. I had asked her if I could repost it. I never got a response on it, but it was a very good, very well worded post about how this government shutdown affecting those who work for the government, have to work for the government, that cannot leave their posts, are being affected big time. And I give props to a bunch of companies out there, I'm not going to name them, that are actually helping these people in their time where they are forced to work with no pay. That hey, we understand you work for such and such, and we're going to grant you an extension because we know you can't pay your bills. I applaud companies like that. You know, like, nah, I can't say names, but I applaud companies like that who understand the situation that's what's going on in our country and understands that these people just cannot flat out pay, and they don't want people going in debt. So it sucks. It really sucks. And I wish there was a way, and I know it's not going to happen during this presidency, and it'll never happen if it's not forced, where stuff like this should never happen. The government should never go into a shutdown in the first place, and that's the big argument. The government should never go in a shutdown. There should always be some type of budget plan that's already a year in advance saying this is what's coming up, and if we need to make alterations to it, we'll do it at a vote. But the government should never, ever shut down for any reason whatsoever. It's just, think of it, your FDA, your Food and Drug Administration, is on hold, so now the food that comes into your stores are not properly checked. You have other organizations that they pay on that are going in limbo because of this. I mean, it's a big deal. It really is. It is a huge deal. And this is one thing us as American citizens have to work on, is understand that the government shutdown is a big thing, but it should never happen in the first place. And once again, when this started happening the last time, when it started happening more frequently, I said on my radio show, and this is actually 2 years, and I remember it to this day, you have to make sure you vote for the leaders that are going to get the job done and not worry about their own agenda. Not care about the American people, but make sure they understand what the American people want, and that person understands that they have to enforce and go after that. I get it. Not everyone is going to get heard, but the loud voices and the big things about what need to be said get addressed. And if you elect people who have their own agenda and their own way of doing things, nothing is ever going to get done. If you elect a congressman who had lived in a certain area, who's so hell-bent on helping everybody, but has his own agenda to get to a certain point, like, I'm only here because I really want to be a vice president someday, or I want to run for president, or you know what, I'm a senator, but I really want to be a congressman, or I want to do this, I want to be a part of a whip, or something like that. They're going to do whatever it is to fulfill that agenda, and they're not really going to hear us. You need to make sure when you do stuff like this, you elect the proper people to get you what you need. Now, this government shutdown, that's a big thing. You should talk to your congressmen and your Senate leaders and tell them, listen, what can we do? What do you need to do to make this end? Because obviously, President Trump's going to do whatever he wants, and it's his hand forced. So something by law has got to give to get this place up and running. See, I'm venting, and I don't really have just reason behind it, because I honestly, this is just me and my opinion right now. I need to do more research and understand why this is happening, not just because of the wall. There's other ways to go around this, but that's where I need to do research, and I need to figure that out. So that's my vent on that. That could be a whole completely different episode. I don't want to get into it any more than that. Hey, did you guys see Bird Box? Amazing. I am actually really happy with what Netflix has been doing. They come out with some amazing shows now. They're coming out with great movies. I saw Brain on Fire with that Chloe, I can't pronounce her last name. I always struggle with it. That's a really good movie. It's only an hour and a half. It's about her being a New York Post writer, or she's just a writer for like a news paper or something like that. And she develops this condition where her body starts, I don't want to say infecting, but starts doing stuff to her brain to the point where her brain starts shutting down. And I don't want to say causes an infection, but it does something to her brain to the point where it makes her look like she's psychotic and just going out of her mind, and her parents don't know what to do, and they get on the doctors. I don't want to spoil for it, but it's a really good movie. It's based on a true story, true events. There's a really good ending to it based on the true events. It's a good watch. Bird Box, same thing. Now, for those who watched The Happening with Mark Wahlberg, I believe that's the name of the movie. It's kind of the same concept. This time, it's not about trees. I think that's what really killed that movie, is when you found out it was the trees killing people, making them commit suicide. We were all kind of like, really? Trees? Bird Box kind of gives you that illusion that it's something, but you find out it's not trees, it's not something, it's actually something. And it's really suspenseful. It's not jumpy, it's suspenseful, it's kind of scary, but it's also gory. That's why it's rated R. It's really good. The previews I saw for it, I was like, they kind of made Sandra Bullock look like it kind of made it look like a B movie. It is by far not a B movie. Again, Netflix, I applaud you. You are doing a great job coming out with some great movies. Keep up the good work. I'm impressed with the last few I watched, and it's going to make me watch more because, to tell you the truth, the movies that keep coming to movie theaters are not impressing me at all, especially Star Wars. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And I really hope that from the articles I've been reading about Star Wars Episode 9, about how they're going to redo everything, kind of retool it, make it like the originals, which we've been told on Episode 7. And even though I kind of liked Episode 7, the more you watch, it's like, it's kind of blasé. Episode 8, I hated. I wasn't a fan of it. I was told to give it time because that's exactly how Episode 5 was like. Empire Strikes Back, people just hated it. They didn't like the way it went. But every time I watch, it made sense. This one doesn't make sense. And I'm hoping that there is a good reason behind it in Episode 9. And I don't mean to vent even further than that, but that's what I'm trying to get at. Netflix has the right mantra, is that the word I'm looking for? Mantra to make good movies. They're putting good people in good spots, and they're putting good storylines. We're not watching storylines that we've seen before. Bird Box, yes, it had the concept of The Happening, but it was its own entity, and it was a great movie to watch. So if you haven't watched Bird Box, watch it. I am telling you, it is a 5 out of 5 for me. I've watched it twice already. It's one of those movies you have to watch twice. At least for me. I liked watching it the second time. It was even more suspenseful because I got into it the second time. The first time I was like, whoa. Second time I was like, oh my God, this is actually creeping up on me. And it made me think about it the next day. So, but what's really weird is people who have watched it are doing really funny things about it and really dumb things about it. Like, I saw a couple of videos on YouTube and out there on social media about people playing with animals like dogs, blindfolding dogs and having them do the Bird Box thing where they put out a piece of cheese and the dog blindfolded has to go find the cheese. Oh, that's funny. But then I saw a news, I think it was on the news, where this was out in California. People actually blindfolded themselves and started to drive and see if it would work. Are you dumb? You don't blindfold yourself. If anything, you're supposed to paint your windows and put paper over the windows. Don't do that. I'm not recommending it at all. Don't come after me for that. I didn't say to do that. But that's how they did it in the movie. But by far, don't do that. That's the dumbest thing you can do is drive blind, because now you're affecting other people. And I don't want to be out on the road if you're being stupid like that. So, but yeah, there's pros and cons to this movie on the flip side of it. But to watch, good watch. Definitely worth the time to go on Netflix. All right, well, we got time for one more. Should I talk about the police on cell phones, or should I talk about the population rate versus making wage? All right, I'll talk about the police one. I'm going to talk about the population one. I thought that was funny. But the police on cell phones, I'm going to just briefly say, I am 100% a hardcore backer of the police, the military, and our firemen. 100%. I support them 100%. So what I'm about to say, do not take this the wrong way, because I believe in one key line that everyone should follow, and quite frankly, it is followed. It's just neglected. It's not ruled. It's supposed to be ruled, and that line is no one, and they mean no one, is above the law. No one. And that includes police officers and military personnel and firemen and anyone of armed services or uniform, whatever. Even the president is not above the law. Senators, congressmen, the judges of the court systems are not above the law. They enforce the law. Don't get me wrong. They all enforce the law. And I'm not saying firemen, but I'm saying, the people that do protect us enforce the law. And I'm a big backer of police officers, so don't get me wrong. I support them 100%. If I do something wrong, I will admit to it. If I'm caught doing something wrong and they have the proof, I'm not going to fight it. I can't fight it. But what I do 100% believe is if no one is above the law, neither are the police officers. And there's one thing that police officers do that aggravate me the most. It's a law that constantly gets overlooked, and it's one of the major reasons why there's a lot of car crashes, and it's people on cell phones and texting while driving. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it. They try to get away with it before they see a cop. I understand. I get it. We're in a rush. We want to make sure that they know. We don't want to forget it. We can't pull over. We're on the go constantly. And if it's something that we write real quick and send off, and then we go back to driving, I understand. It's dangerous. 100% dangerous. But police officers, I used to train to become a police officer. It's hard to believe. Yeah, me, I'm a big guy. But back in high school, I went to BOCES for security and law enforcement, and one of the things that we got to do is sit with police officers while they were out on patrol. And there is a lot a police officer has to do while they're in their car. There's a lot of gadgets they have to look at. There's a computer in there that gets their calls forwarded to them. They have CB radio with constant communication to the tower and anybody else that needs their assistance. They're in constant multitasking mode. The last thing I want to see them involved in is driving on a cell phone, because that is against the law. Now, how do you express this to a point where it should be addressed with the lawmakers saying, hey, listen, I get it. They're police officers. They need to have constant contact. But at the same time, they're also breaking the same law that you guys made about no texting and driving. They're supposed to be setting an example, right? Correct? Am I wrong in saying that? So my major concern is two major concerns. One, what is the law for police officers then? Is this law not meant for police officers? Are they allowed to be on their cell phones while they're out on patrol or clocked in or whatever the case may be? Because quite frankly, I like I said, I believe in the philosophy that no one is above the law. No one. And if police officers are out there enforcing the law and supposed to be role models, why are they on their cell phones out on patrol? I don't agree with that. If anything, they should be hands-free, but they shouldn't even have a cell phone to begin with. That's number two. why do they feel that a cell phone should be on them at all times? Other than if they're out and they have to respond to a call and they have to call somebody that can't be on CB radio. I get it. That I understand because I see it all the time. I've watched cops. But to be cruising around talking on a cell phone, whether it's a fellow police officer or it's somebody at the station, I don't understand. And I think I need to be enlightened why this is. But it's my biggest my biggest pet peeve about police officers on duty, out on patrol, using their cell phones. If you go on YouTube, and I know I keep bringing YouTube up, if you go on YouTube and type in police officers on cell phones while driving, you'll see quite a few. There was actually one where a guy was on his bicycle and he was in the road in a kind of like a townish area. And he was looking both ways to see if any cars were coming. And he was about to take off and he saw a police officer coming from his right and didn't see him because he was on his phone and smashed right into him. Now, the guy on the bike had one of those little GoPro cameras on his helmet. And he hit him pretty good to the point where he flew off his bike and back. And now the cop apologized and then the video went dead because it happened so quick. But it's stuff like that it doesn't matter who you are. If you're on your cell phone, you are endangering those who are out there on the road. Like I said, we're all guilty of it. We all text and drive. We all call and put the phone up like this and drive, or we're holding it with one hand. And it's so easy. It's such a good investment to buy a Bluetooth module. It's $15, or get one of those little things you put up on your dash or your windshield and just clip your phone. And if someone calls, it's like the radio, boop, and there you go. And you just boop, put them on speakerphone. You can start talking to them, turn your radio off. It's hands-free. It's not in the way, and it's not obstructing or confusing or distracting your field of view while you drive. It is 100%, I wouldn't say 100%, but it's way better than the alternative of you holding the phone in your hand. So please, please, take my word of advice for that. Get that for your car if you ever have to use your phone while you drive. That's all I'm saying. But that was my vent on police. I know I went too far. I guess we're going to go for the hour. But this is actually going to cover everything I'm venting about tonight. But another article I found kind of funny out there, population rate. Now, it's called a baby bust, not a baby boom, because a baby boom is the exact opposite of a baby bust. Baby boom is where everyone's having kids all at once, and all of a sudden, boom, the population just skyrockets because everyone's having kids. But it's a baby bust. No one's having kids. And it's at the point in the U.S. where we're not having enough kids to replace the current population. We're actually losing our population because we're not having enough kids. Here's my vent on it. And I've seen it quite a few times on Facebook. People venting about this same thing, the same argument I'm about to have. Why would we have kids if our minimum wage keeps going up and we can't afford anything? New York State alone has raised the minimum wage so many times in the last 7 to 10 years. I would say right after I graduated high school, so 2005, so a little over 10 years. I've seen New York State raise the minimum wage so many times, and it pisses me off because I'm at a certain point in my career where I feel like I should be comfortable. But because the minimum wage keeps raising, everything else goes up. And yeah, I mean, how I make my money is a little weird. It's weird, but my hourly rate is my base pay on top of all the other stuff that I get bonuses for. I look at my hourly rate, and with the minimum rate that New York State is at, it's like $11 and maybe some change, or maybe it's just $11 an hour. It's set to go up again in the next 2 years throughout the state. I find this absolutely ridiculous that New York State constantly wants to raise the minimum wage, and they wonder why so many people leave the state. And that's because you can't afford anything around here. If you raise the minimum wage, what inevitably happens to everything else? Your prices on food go up. Your prices on cost of living go up. Your taxes supposedly go up. So, to make a long story short, I hate the fact that we keep raising the minimum wage. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate the fact that no matter what we do to work harder to make more money, it is overshadowed by, again, a very shady way of delivering what they say. And I'm talking the government and this in the state government. And this is just New York State in general. I'm sure other states have the same issue. That, hey, we're going to raise the minimum wage because there's a lot of lower class employees out there, such as those that work at fast food, or those that work at like a supermarket, or those that have minimum wage jobs that aren't going to go anywhere. We want to help you out. But what they don't realize is those who actually have earned raises as they've gone on with their careers, now it's like it's taken away from them. So yeah, what I make right now, I've earned over the last 10 years. And I've had, I don't know, I'm really going to emphasize maybe 6 raises. It's probably less than that. But to get to where I started at the time that I started $2 above the minimum wage at the time. I think it was like $7. So it was $9 an hour when I first started my first real job. And, or it could be wrong. It could have been $5.45 because I know it was right around. I think it was $7 an hour, $5.45 or $7. And within the duration, I've had either $1 an hour raises since then, to the point where, and if you want to do the math, you want to say 6 times, fine. It's been $1 or a 50-cent raise. I don't know, but that's not what I make. I'm not going to disclose that. But my point that I'm trying to get at here is, let's just say the minimum wage for the last 13 years has stayed at the $7 an hour, right? And now I'm making, let's just say I'm making $15 an hour, and I've earned that over 10 years. That's great. I've added, what is it? 15. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. I've added $8 an hour more to my paycheck. Or no, 9. So $9.50. Oh my God. Holy shit. I've added $6 more an hour to my paycheck over 10 years. It's taken me 13. Oh, let's say 13. It's taken me 13 years to make $6 more. Now, you're going to raise the minimum wage. Let's just say they haven't raised the minimum wage since 2005, right? When I first started working, or 2007. We'll just say 2000, whatever. Doesn't matter. Now you want to raise the minimum wage. But now you're going to raise the minimum wage to $13 an hour, right? Now you've taken $4 an hour away from what I've earned. So yeah, I'm still at what, $15 an hour, but now you're raising it to $13. That means you've taken away $5 from what I was making. 10 years it took me to get $5 extra on top of what I'm making now. I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at here, but I hope you're following. So now you're taking that away. From the time that it took me to make what I'm making now and the time it's taken away, it's just, it doesn't make sense. It's never going to add up, because I feel like if the minimum wage keeps going up yearly, and let's say I stay at the rate that I'm at now and I can't go any further, and the minimum wage keeps going up and the cost of living goes up, and I have all these things I have to pay for, because at the time when I made this wage, I didn't have to worry about it. Now the cost of living has gone up to the point where it exceeds where the minimum wage is. You're putting more and more people in debt, and you're actually forcing their hand to leave the state to a place where minimum wage is, or not minimum wage, cost of living is livable. It's not livable anymore. So I think New York State really needs to understand that it's at that point where, yeah, we're not having kids because it's not affordable. We can't afford it. We can't even afford the roof over our heads. I mean, we've had our struggles. I've had my struggles with it. I've had my struggles with it constantly throughout life, where I feel like I should be making more, and I go to make more, and I'm actually proving myself, and I'm getting out there, whether it's with the company I'm with now or with other companies, and I'm trying to make more money. And at the end of the day, I look at it and I'm like, I've done all this hard work, and it's taken away the next year because of minimum wage and the cost of living. I'm like, wasn't milk $1.14 a gallon? Now it's $2.69. What? I mean, all this stuff adds up. Like your stuff that you like, your food that you want for your house, it has gone up. And a lot of people don't see that because it's small amounts over time. So I remember when eggs used to be, what, 88 cents for, I think just for an 18 pack or a dozen at least. And now it's like $1.18 or $1.29. Or if you want like, and how they get you is if you buy the 2 18 packs, and this is Wegmans that I'm quoting. So again, I'm not trying to give them any kudos or free advertising, but now it's like, to save you a little money, we'll give you more if you buy more. And it's now what, it's $3 or $4 for the 2 18 packs. So are you really saving? Are you really making money? And now you have all this extra food that's just going to spoil in a few weeks or a month or whatever the expiration date is. So you're really just, you're adding more waste by spending more and getting more, but at the same time, you're actually losing. So I totally understand why people aren't having kids. It doesn't financially make sense. And with us having a kid, it's going to be another learning curve. And I believe everyone who decides they want to have kids or make the big move to own a house or own a brand new car, if you don't have a game plan on how to budget well or how finances work, your ratio of making money to spending money and what money has to go to, my advice for that, go to a bank. M&T, or again, this no free advertising here. I'm pointing out an option I have that I just thought about. M&T has a great program where I don't even think you have to open up a checking account there. They have financial advisors there that could give you help. They are there to sell you an account, and they want people there that'll help. And I think M&T in this area in Western New York has a great option that banks like Key Bank don't have. Maybe they do. They just don't advertise it because they know they're a big commercial bank, and they know that their name will get customers to draw in. M&T's more local here in the area, and they understand that economic hardships are big in this area. Financial issues are big in this area. People going into debt are big in this area. And they realize, like, if we can convince you to open an account here, we will give you these services free of charge. Hell, you don't even have to have an account here. Come in here. We want to talk to you. Bring all your bills. Develop a budget. Write it all out. Tell me what you owe. We can come up with a plan. And I love that. I love that about banks or people in general that want to help other people out with their finances. Everybody should do it. I'm in that position. We're in that position where, you don't want to get in over your heads. You have money, but you don't want to blow money. And at the same time, you don't want to get yourself in a rut to where you feel like it's just, what do we do? We're so in over our heads. Do we declare bankruptcy? Can we consolidate? What do we do? So that's something, me and my wife want to talk about. We've constantly talked about it because, having a second kid is a big expense, especially in the beginning with formula and diapers and everything closed. You have to go, and, this being the winter months, we're going to have to invest. Well, April's kind of the short end, so it's starting to get in the spring. But it's a big expense, and you realize you burn through money very, very fast. And if you're not making enough money to suit 2 kids, a house over your head, 2 cars, whatever you have money invested into, it can become a problem to the point where it's something that you need to write down on a piece of paper. Like, okay, here's my pros and cons. This is our budget. This is what we're bringing in. This is what we're spending. What can we do to fix this? And the population rate versus minimum wage rate has everything to do with finances of a person's total house income. And you wonder why people don't want to have any more kids right now. So everything I'm venting about has everything to do with this. Why are we not having kids? It's exactly this reason. It's not just the minimum wage. It's places you work for that provide you that type of money. The services that you get, you know, the position that you work in is no longer feasible for the amount of money that you can make to survive in where you're living at. And that is actually something for next week's episode that I have written down here. Employees needing college degrees instead of experience. Does the pay make sense? That's something we'll talk about next week. And look, I've already started the outline of why that's an issue and why I'm going to vent about it. So, whew. That's our episode tonight. I know I dragged it on an hour. That was my fault. I had no intention to. I was already way too tired before the episode started. But once again, thank you for joining me tonight. That is what I vented about. We've played the Trump game. It's a complete clear house. Trump wins 10-0. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with that. Stay, please like our Facebook page, Niagara Podcast Channel, specifically for this reason, because of the computer issues that we're having. Right now, everything seems to be working fine. It's great. I do have my backup hard drive, my external hard drive right here. I plan on backing this up. The one show that's not going to happen is this Sunday's game night, because I noticed that no matter what I do, it's going to lag because of the hard drive issue, not the RAM issue. I can get it to work without, you know, with the minimum RAM that I have. The hard drive is just failing to the point where it's making me think it's the RAM, and it's not. It's actually a hard drive. Because when I went to go try it this past Sunday, I had lagging issues again, and the times that I tried it before that, I had no issues. And I have a feeling I know why it happened, but I'm not going to push this computer anymore. I'm actually lucky I'm doing it on this tonight, because I don't want this to fail with still so much information on my computer that has to get off. So that being said, next week's episode is still on, because if I can't use my computer, I'm going to use my phone. And, you know, I'll have a new poll listed at the end of the show tonight, and then which is on the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts thing. And then, yeah, like us on our Facebook page, Niagara Podcast Channel, for up-to-dates, any cancellations, postponements, any new information, news, music that's going on there. It's all coming. It's still under construction. We have a couple of cool banners coming up that are going to get posted on. I know it's a lot to take in. I like to ramble. I do apologize, but I hope you enjoy. And hopefully within the next week or two, I will have this computer fixed, and we'll be streaming more and more videos other than my show. And I do have a second camera coming on its way, which means Brad Schiavone will be having his own show soon. I've talked to him about it. He said he's down for whatever. So as soon as I get that camera in and this computer fixed, we're good to go. Everyone, thank you for joining tonight. I appreciate it. Stay safe. This weekend's going to be crappy. Have a good night, everyone. Yeah, have a good night.